I've been living in my truck for an equivalent of 1.5 years. Living in my truck came with a few challenges I had to figure out. Pack it with ice from the house, or this is a foot pump. So what I do is lay it on the ground and pump it like this with my foot. This is the bag I pack my clothes in. It's packed up. Look, when I'm in nature, I just feel and this is where I'm at. Right at the park, at the beach, as you can tell. Sakpase and welcome to the channel. So how did I get myself into this situation? This wonderful situation. It all started back in 2022 when I moved from Montana to Florida. Lakeland was the first place I moved to. When I was there, I started working for this company called Tradesmen International. They are a company who hire carpenters or certain contractors. The way they work is a contractor will have a certain project they want done and they need help with. They will go to tradesmen, call them up and ask if they have a guy who can do this job. What they will do, they will call one of the guys working for them and say, hey, this guy in this location for this price is looking to get this job done. Do you accept it? I would say yes or no to the job. It could be 30 minutes to an hour to maybe 5 minutes away, but it just depends. From there, I maybe got 2 jobs in Lakeland, but then they started sending me to Tampa to work. At this point, I was like, okay, maybe just a few jobs in Tampa and then they would set me up with Lakeland, because I kept telling them, hey, are you guys not having work here in Lakeland? Why do I have to keep going to Tampa? So there's like, yeah, there's not much job here right now. We just have the jobs here in Tampa. I said, okay, fine. I kept accepting jobs to go to Tampa, which was 30 minutes to an hour away. I would leave early morning to get to work. It might take me 30 minutes to 45 minutes. But then I would have to travel an hour and a half to 2 hours back to Lakeland because traffic is crazy. I thought to myself, can I actually continue to do that? Having to drive 2 hours back home all the time. Since this was my job, I didn't really have any options. My goal was to figure something out. As I kept getting jobs to Tampa, I said finally, okay, I hate traffic. I'm not gonna be driving back and forth. What I decided to do a few times is just stay in my truck. After I would get done with work in Tampa, instead of going all the way back home, I would end up staying in my truck, because depending on how long the job is, I could stay there for 2 days, 3 days, or a week. Either way, I said, okay, maybe I'll just stay 3 days and then go back home and then come back and maybe stay for another 2 days or until the job's done. Living in my truck came with a few challenges I had to figure out. Number one was, how about food? And the thing is, I do not want to have to eat out. Say I stay out for 5 days. I did not want to have to eat out all 5 days. I told myself I would not be eating out 5 days in a row for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if I eat that much. Wait a minute, I meal prep. So all I have to do is pack my meals in a cooler with some ice and I'm set. Let me show you guys that part here, because obviously I'm in the back of my truck, and let me show you how I actually prepared for that part. The fact that I have a bunch of tools here will come in later. Here, I'm gonna put this aside. Here is the cooler. I actually did not start with this cooler. I had a smaller, very cheap one, and I still need to upgrade to a better one that will keep the ice in here longer, but I'm saving for that. So this is the cooler, and what I'll do is pack it with ice from the house, or I just get some ice from a grocery store or gas station, and I will just pack it with my ice packs just like this, and then I'll have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all of it in here, and that's what I would eat for the week. So this is what meal prepping came into hand for. So it made it easy for me. I still have all my meals in here, nice and cold, and I've finished most of it, so it's not too packed right now. All my meals is breakfast. You can see I have some waffles in here, and then breakfast here, frittata down there. that's what I do. I always try to make sure to keep cold, obviously, because it gets pretty hot in Florida. So I'm putting that back. The next thing I needed to figure out is how was I going to take a shower or do my personal care. Either I go to a gym, get a membership, and that's where I would go shower, or I would just shower outside at a public place. For example, many beach areas have a showering outside. Then aside from that, I would then go to a public place and take a dry shower. And what a dry shower is, if you do not know, it's when you just go to a public bathroom, in the sink, you have your washcloth and soap, and what you do is get yourself wet with the cloth, and then you put soap in that cloth or whatever you're using, and then wash yourself with it, and then repeat, wash it off, get some water, and then wipe yourself down. That's a dry shower if you did not know. Same thing with brush teeth and all that fun stuff. Or just go to a public place or use a water bottle that I have in my truck, brush my teeth, I need to wash my face, I do that. It's very simple if you know how to just properly take care of yourself. The other thing was my exercising. I need to exercise, right? I like said I would go to a gym and take a shower, so that means I would go to the gym and work out as well. But I do that sometimes, but not always, because my thing is in gyms. I don't go to gyms a lot. What I mainly do is calisthenics, body weight exercises. So I would go anywhere to a park or wherever and put a weighted vest on, use bands, and I do my exercise outside, and that's good for me. But if I go to the gym to take a shower, I'll go there to the gym and exercise. So I got all three things figured out that I'm just basically doing all at home. The other thing is, how comfortable could sleeping in my truck be? At first, what I was doing was, so the front of the passenger seat and the driver's seat, and right in the middle there's a seat. So what I will do is flip that seat up, and then right across is where I would lay and sleep. And I'm 5'7", so the length for me is just perfect, and I'm gonna show you in a little bit. Then I end up upgrading to a mattress for sleeping to be a little bit more comfortable. This here is a blow-up pad. It blows up in two ways. You can't really, it's pretty long. This is a foot pump. So what I do is lay it on the ground and pump it like this with my foot. I don't, obviously, my foot's usually pretty dirty because I'm walking barefoot. So I just use my hands and I pump it like this. Or I have a blower back there and I just put it in there and it blows it up for me. And if I don't want to do some exercise for that day. That's how that works. And where I usually put this, if it's not in front seat, it is right behind here. I put it right back here is where I put this sleeping pad when it's blowing up. So this is it, plenty long. So, and obviously what I'll do is take my tools, put it on all one side, and then here will be empty, and I'll put it right there, and that's where I'll sleep. And now I make sure it's clean in here so it's not all dusty. Fast forward, I decided to move to Tampa. I moved to Tampa, got a place to stay, and I was still doing the same thing because tradesmen would still send me an hour away, and it would take me 2 hours just to come back home. Again, I didn't want to do that. I really liked Tampa, so that's why I moved there. I really enjoyed it, and it was more of the place and the energy I was looking for when I talked about moving to Florida. And yes, when I was in Tampa, I would get work within the house I was living in, but sometimes I would get work in the area, so I would just end up coming straight back home. But aside from that, I was still going far away and then sleeping in my truck. Fast forward 6 months to a year later, I end up starting my own business as a handyman. That definitely gave me more control of my time. So you would think you start your own business, you're a handyman, now you don't have to sleep on your truck anymore. No, I still did it. I still was sleeping in my truck after starting my own business. And that's what you see back here is all my tools. Oh yeah, I did not mention. So I would just stay for 5 days, and at the end of the week, I would go back home, and then that's when I would do my meal prepping and just get ready for the week to come. Now, after starting my own business, I was traveling far from where I was living. That was done by choice because now I'm in control of my time. I just ended up loving the idea of staying in my truck. The reason for that is I would travel anywhere and everywhere in Florida. I wanted to do a lot of exploring in Florida. That was part of the reason I ended up moving to Florida in the first place, was just to be in nature and just go wherever. So I ended up telling myself, you know what? I'm already sleeping in my truck, so why not drive 2 hours away, stay there for a week and do work, and then just come back at the end of the week to where I'm actually staying in a house. I did that and continue to do it to this day. I'm still doing it because I'm just obsessed. Like, when I'm in nature, I just feel at peace. So my goal is to spend as much time outdoors as possible. Instead of getting done with work and driving straight back home and being stuck in traffic, I've got nobody at home waiting for me and I'm just here. Whether I'm at the beach, at a park, or just wherever, it makes sense. Not only was it nice being outdoors constantly, I was meeting a bunch of new people. That was at work and just in random, because I would just be in random places and talk to people and get different ideas. And that's just how I like it. I do enjoy people and talking to them and just hearing what they have to say about Florida, just so I'm more aware of it. And overall, I just liked it. Some of you might be asking the question, Lemian, why don't you just stay at an Airbnb or a hotel or something? I did think about that, and that idea came when I started my business. When I was working with tradesmen, I didn't have the money to be staying at an Airbnb or hotel while I had a place I was paying for monthly at home. So I didn't even think about that or consider it. When I got my business, I thought about, okay, I guess I could get a Airbnb or hotel and stay there when I'm wherever I'm working at. But again, like I mentioned, I just wanted to spend as much time outdoors as possible. So that idea of getting an Airbnb, get done with work, go to the Airbnb, and all I'm doing is sitting there and doing the same thing I would be doing if I was just sitting outside of my truck looking at the water and the beach. So the idea just didn't suit me a lot. Although yes, I'm still saving money by doing what I'm doing, I just wasn't in with the idea of getting an Airbnb. I just wanted to just be outside. I didn't want to have to pay, do this, move in, click out. It just made sense for me and I felt comfortable doing this. But when I started the business, I was definitely making more money than I was making at tradesmen. So I had the money to actually pay to stay somewhere else. I just didn't want to do it. Okay, that's getting close to the end. My next thing here is I'm going to show you guys inside of the truck, because I already showed back here. I'll show back here a little bit more. Now time for the tour. So you guys already saw the tour up here. There's all my tools. Oh, I did not have these tools when I was working with tradesmen. I had a teeny bit of stuff, but not as much. Hopefully nobody robs me after seeing this video. Nobody can. Don't you be thinking about it. Got my water bottle. This is my baby. I'll lock it. So this is inside of the truck, so it doesn't get steaming hot in here. This is not a good truck to have in Florida, black interior. So it burns in here quite a bit. I have the windows all down and teeny. This is it, and what I was talking about earlier, this is the bag I pack my clothes in. It's packed up. What I will do is put this up, blow up that mattress pad, and it's not a mattress pad, but a blow up pad, whatever you call it. I lay it across here and I sleep just like that. And then let me go from here to the other side. This here is my workout bag where I have my bands and stuff like that. And then here's my weighted vest back here. I need to put my mat in here. It's actually drying, it's wet. Camera stuff. Here is my paddle board, blow up paddle board. I like that. And here is my workout mat. My blanket. I didn't mention my blanket. My blanket is in here. It's like a sleeping bag is what this is. Camera stuff, shoes, grocery bag, more camera stuff, bag right there. I'm gonna go on the other side. This is this side here. This is my bag of food that I have here. Protein powder, all my goodies stuff. Element tea. And then here, this here is what I warm my food in. Either I will get the food out of the cooler and I will honestly put it right here to heat up when it comes close to lunch or dinner. Or if I don't do that, I will put it in this warmer and then I will plug it into this power source right here. And this will last me about 5 meals. And what I'll do is just charge it at one of my clients' place I'm working at. And then that's how I do it. I warm up my food there. Power bank is perfect. This bag already showed that. Let's see. These waters I do not drink because it gets so hot in here. It's not healthy to drink boiling hot water in a plastic. I just use those to brush my teeth and other things, clean my face. Here is my care bag with all my goodies in there. A computer bag, bike. Oh, and I'm usually packing my bike too. I love riding the bike. Yeah, this is what back here looks like. So not much. It's not filled with stuff, and that's because everything I need is very minimalistic. And I'm not obviously staying here all the time. It's just temporary. And then when I started doing this, I did not tell anybody about it, not even my parents. And that's because I didn't want my mother to find out I moved to Florida to live in my truck. I did not want her to know that. But eventually I had to tell her because they were gonna find out either way, because they would always be asking me, oh, where are you? And I say, a lot of people still don't know I'm doing this. So if whoever sees this video, it'll be the first time. They will not even know that I've been doing something like this. And if I really needed the help, I have many people around me who would help, who would never let me get to a place to where I have no control of my stuff and I have no options. At this point in my life, I am far from failing.
When you put everything together,
yeah,
there is a question on top of that.
Then you have to find the answer.
You are the first one that So this is our group, our people. We would say secret space program. So it's our group. This is a soldier. So you must be our soldier. Just
today I got done with work early. And I'm an hour and a half or so from home actually, and tomorrow I'm gonna be going back. And this is where I'm at, right at the park, at the beach. As you can tell, there is my favorite place right here. People are exercising, running, and I'm gonna take my paddle board out underwater pretty soon. And when I tell you this is what I live for, it really is. And this is just one spot of many places I go, and this is one of my favorite areas to be. So I enjoy getting work here from my clients as a handyman, and I just get to walk around, enjoy the view, enjoy the sunshine. It is so beautiful right now. Everybody here. The lighting isn't too good on this side, but it's okay though. At the end of the day, it is nothing to me to be doing this. Although this isn't something most people obviously just do because they might have responsibilities at home with kids or whatever, but if you're somebody who just want to find and make the best out of life, I'm not saying living in your truck is what you have to do, but you got to go do something that's maybe not too popular, and maybe it makes you happy in the meantime, or you just have to do it until you can get back on your feet to where you actually see yourself. Later on, who knows, I'm probably gonna upgrade to a van, which I've been actually thinking quite a lot about. I just need to put that money together. Just spend a few months grinding at work, get the money, and that's what I might do. I'm at the end of the water now, or this bridge. Nothing is better than this view. This This people are just everywhere, exercising, doing their thing, happy. I like seeing this. I didn't even like the fact, even if I had a job that was 30 minutes from my house, because then what would I do? Get done with work, go home, sit in front of my computer? Because when I get done with work, and if I'm not doing something like this, I'll go do some studying on my computer at a public place like a McDonald's or Starbucks, just chill there and do some business work. And that's what I do, is that stuff. Beach, enjoying themselves, getting that tanning that white skin. This is example of the shower I was talking about. So when I get done with work, or at the end of the day, when I do my exercise, I will come out here, and this is where I will take a shower. There we go. Yep, that's the shower. Feels good. It feels so cool. And there's bathroom right there. So I use the bathroom. I go in there to wash my face if I need. We'll just do it out here. This is the park. And again, this is just one area. This is just one of my favorite areas to be. I'm not the only one doing this here as well. There, you can see down there, people are camping in their vehicles or van, and they have it going on. I'll pass by there in a little bit, but there are people here I know who live. I know somebody that lives here, because every time I'm here I see him with his van here. Probably thinking the same thing about me. I did not mention anything about safety. That's something I don't worry about. I know a lot of people worry about it for me, but I do not worry about it. I do make sure I'm safe to wherever I'm staying towards the night, making sure I lock my vehicle if I'm in there, and just making sure I'm aware of my surroundings. I don't worry about too much. I don't worry too much about that, just because there isn't much to worry about. Like, I'm gonna take proper precautions, and obviously, but for the most part, it's not too much of a struggle. There's a gym right there, training area, which is pretty nice. Can play tennis or pickleball over there. That is it, y'all, for the video. Always remember to smile, cause you're a star. Shine on. Peace. Keep it real cool.